Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for part 2B of our tutorial regarding Sequence Generator Pro, the Equipment Profile Manager. So thank you all for coming back and seeing the second part of this. If you want to know a little bit more about the first four tabs, the camera, the filters, the focus, and the telescope tab, feel free to hit up the first part of the video, part 2A of the video playlist regarding Sequence Generator Pro, and that will talk about the first four. But today we're going to be talking about the plate solving, the auto guide tab, and the other tab. The video is not as long as what I thought it was going to be. We'll go into it a little bit more depth when we go into one individual function at a time. This is really all about getting you up and running. So why don't we go over to my computer, take a look, and through the magic of Hollywood, we'll jump right over to my computer and take a look at my setup on Sequence Generator Pro for the auto guide, the plate solving, and the other tab. See you there. All right, so here we are at the Equipment Profile Manager for part 2. We're going to be talking about plate solving, auto guiding, and the other tab. If you wanted to go know a little bit more information about these four, the camera, filters, focus, and telescope tabs, feel free to see our prior video, part 2A, I guess, of the Equipment Profile Manager. If you don't remember how to get into the Equipment Profile Manager, you just go into Tools and Equipment Profile Manager. Choose the profile. That's a profile we've been working with, so we'll use that again. And we're going to talk about the Plate Solve tab. So for this demonstration, we're going to use Plate Solve 2. There are other plate solvers that you can use, Pinpoint, Astrometry.net, and ASTAP, but I use Plate Solve 2. Oh my goodness. I use Plate Solve 2, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure that your catalogs are set up right. Now, if you don't know, if you have the right catalog set up, go to part 1 of the playlist, and it will tell you what software you need to download in order to make SGP functional for plate solving. So just go to File and Configure Catalog Directories, and you just want to make sure that you set this up right and that your status is okay on both for UCAC3 and APM, and then you'll be good to go as far as plate solving is concerned. Max regions, I have it set to. You could change it based on your scope and your rig to lower if you want. I just leave it on max because usually plate solves within about maybe at the most 100 regions, but if you have a bad polar alignment and stuff like that, you may need more regions. So keep it at max until you feel comfortable that you are plate solving at a lower number. So I have bidding at 2.2, 2x2, and exposure at 10 seconds. You could probably get away with a lot lower than that. My theory is a little bit more exposure, a little bit more stars, a little easier to plate solve. Not sure if that means anything, but that's my random logic as it is. I attempt to center 10 times, even though it does it a lot less times than that. It's usually 1 or 2 times, but in case there's an issue, I leave it up to 10. And I have an error less than 200 pixels, and a rotator error is less than 3 degrees. Now, if you don't have a rotator, you don't have to worry about that. Use filter. I use luminance filter. And for blind solve failover, I have it set for either astrometry.net normally when I'm remote, or if I don't have internet connection, I have it set at ANSVR. And for more information about these two, again, go see the first video, please, on Sequence Generator Pro. That's all there is to plate solving setup. That being said, we're going to go to the auto guide button next. Alright, so here we are at the auto guide tab, and there are a couple different programs that SGP is compatible with. Many people use PhD2, but there's AstroArt, MetaGuide. If you have a direct mount guider, that's a practice guider if you just want like a simulator, or SkyGuard and SkyGuide. But many people use PhD2, so for this example, we'll use PhD2. I don't know why this is set at small dither, but I usually have it on high dither. But in order to set up PhD2, you want to have it pointed at the profile that you set up. So we'll talk about PhD2 profile setups in another video. But you want to point it to, and that's going to pop up, you're going to want to point it to the install path for PhD guiding. So where's the program and what profile that you have. And this will automatically load up all of your guiding profiles that you have. And if you just added a new one, make sure you hit refresh. So then this will all pop up. So PhD2 Connect actions. Open and connect gear to PhD when sequence starts using the profile above. I have that checked. And you can disconnect gear from PhD when sequence is done if you wish. The port server options I've left at default at 4400. I do dithering, so dithering I have it set at high dither every 3 frames. I settle at 1 pixel for at least 10 seconds, so it will count 10 seconds to make sure that that star is not moving less than a pixel for 10 seconds before it starts taking another picture. I have checked it'll stop the auto guider when the sequence completes, pause guiding during image download, and restart current frame when guider distance is greater than 1 pixel. So those are the only 3 things that I have set up for PhD2. And then we're going to go really quickly to the other tab because there's really not much for the normal end user, but there is some stuff that you may want to look at. All right, and here we are at the other tab. So there's a couple of things that you may want to do here. If you do flats in the same sequence, if you have a manual flat box, like something that you put on top, like if you lay your spica flat or a Gerd Newman or whatever, or your iPad with a t-shirt on it on top, you want to use manual flat box. But it is compatible with a couple of ASCOM flat boxes like Altenac, Arteski, Gemini, and Pegasus. So if you have one of those 4, you could actually use Sequence Generator Pro to control those flat boxes, which is really good when you want to talk about brightnesses and setting them up, while you're sitting in your house. I have checked prompt to place flat box, so it'll tell me on the screen when we start the flat sequence, make sure you put your flat box up there and not just keep on going. I don't have a rotator, but if you do have a rotator, it will load up whatever ASCOM you have. I used to have a DRR rotator. I took it off because it was just getting too heavy and crazy. I don't have an observatory, but if you do have a robotic observatory, you can hook that up here. If you have a safety or environmental device like a cloud setup, any of these will work. OCH, if you have an ASCOM observing conditions simulator, or temper hum, you could use that. Any variables, any strings that you want to throw in there, I'm not really too well versed in the variable part of it, but those are the 5 things that you can actually put in there as far as some other functionalities that Sequence Generator Pro has for the more advanced user. So, and that is the other tab. And that's about it for the Equipment Profile Manager introduction. So thank you all for watching. We're going to be going a little bit into more detail regarding plate solving and auto guiding and sequences as we go into other videos in this playlist. So be aware to watch for those. And if you want the notifications on when they come out, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you get all the notifications, not only on the videos and reviews that the team puts out, but to know when we go live on Wednesday nights as a little reminder. So thank you so much for your support. Please join us, join the family at AstroWorld and AstroWorld TV. And remember, keep imaging, keep educating, and keep having fun. And we'll see you next time at AstroWorld. Thank you so much for watching.